Welcome, Joyager. In today's brutally honest review video, we will be covering the Boonji Project by Brendan Murphy. In our last review video, I went live on YouTube and we covered Oogaverse NFT, and that was a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone being in there. Way more people than I thought. It was really fun. Anyways, guys, if you appreciate the fucking just volume of videos we've gotten in and the many reviews we've covered on this channel, I appreciate you guys leaving a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're not following me on Twitter or Discord, YouTube's not really sending alerts out for some reason, even with people with the bell. You're gonna want to be following because we have so many videos planned every single day, daily uploads. My goal with this channel is to instill the knowledge and confidence it takes to navigate this metaverse on your own. So without further ado, let's get into the Boonji Project. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the interview I just did with the CEO and co-founder of Boonji Project, Greg Norman Jr. I'll link that down below. But we talked about Boonji for quite a while. We talked about just the team, experience, all the things related to the project. And let me just tell you, I became much more bullish on this project after this conversation. And before we get any further, I want to let you guys know that I do own a Boonji project. I bought it yesterday. I saw a dip. This is a project I've been wanting to get in for a long time. It's very important that you know that there's no partnership between us. I always am transparent about any project I work with. I just like it, and I've always liked this project. I just saw a dip, and that's a project that I wanted. And as you guys know, that is how I invest. Not really caring about the floor, not really looking to flip or anything. I didn't even buy this off the floor. I literally scrolled until I found one I liked. So anyways, that's just full transparency there. So the idea behind Boonji, it's a 20-year project that never started digital. It was always real world. Brendan Murphy was a very prominent just artist in general. He does sculptures, paintings, all those things. And Boonji was a project very similar to Danny Cole in the sense that he had been working on it for so long, and now an NFT world exists. He was able to bring some of these ideas to a different type of dream world in the scope of Boonji, where they're able to just create different renditions of his project. And for him, he's spending a few years sometimes working on one sculpture. To be able to just like create 11,000 of them and do an NFT project must have been unbelievable. Currently a floor of 0.23. When I was buying, it was around 0.2. I paid about 0.35 for mine, and this is how they look. Cool, man. A lot of renditions. What you guys should know before we get into this project is that this NFT project is very, very different than most of the ones we've covered, right? He's got people like Serena Williams, Didier Drogba, Djokovic, I think, like big famous people love his shit and they buy his real shit. And so he wanted to transition into NFTs, and that's why he hired a full fucking team of very experienced business people. And when you combine creativity with business savvy motherfuckers, that's recipe for success generally. So anyway, they have 5.2 thousand Ethereum traded, 5.8 thousand owners out of 11,000 items, which is dope. So if we take a look at their activity, I'm pretty sure they had a Dutch auction. I'm not 100% on that. It doesn't really matter, but the floor was around 0.7 for a long time, hovered between 0.5, 0.7, ended up getting to 0.4, 0.3 with, obviously a lot of the volume for a lot of projects had dropped off. So 0.3 was where it was at. And I was looking to enter around 0.2. However, especially after my last interview, I was even more bullish in the project. And I was like, well, fuck, if I'm going to have a Boonji project long-term, I want one that I like. So I picked up one. The floor at the point I bought was 0.2, but I bought one at 0.35. I scrolled a little bit, so I found one I liked. That's really important, guys, that you understand why you're investing in a project. For me, it's not really about the money. It's about holding that piece and being part of the project. Another example of that is Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu. Is an NFT project that I bought, and I don't even know what's going on with the project. I just want to be part of Tom's brand. And they also have this other set called the Redemption Tokens for Brendan's physical art. This is sick as fuck. So you can buy the cheapest one right now for 0.65. If you hold it for a certain amount of time, you can trade it for a literal physical piece of art, which is so cool. And that's another little bit of functionality that only matters because it's Brendan Murphy. But real quick, let's check out their Twitter. 36.5 thousand followers. Of course, as you guys know, we don't know how many are bots, how many, if they bought any. I don't think they did. They have a really good amount of engagement. They're getting thousands of views, hundreds and hundreds of interactions, and they're doing shit different. So if you look at their page, they're very active on Twitter. They're sharing, engaging, posting cool shit, posting things like this, which I don't even know if this is the final rendition of what they're going for, but this is lit, dude. Like if you bought a Boonji, you can get a custom made watch for your actual Boonji. That is dope. That is so dope, and that's amazing for brand, amazing for demand, and you can tell it's so fucking obvious that the people behind this project are very experienced and know what they're doing in the scope of marketing and branding. And that's so important to know because there's a lot of art projects out there that just simply can't do as well because they don't have the level of people from a business side to pull off all the things they want to do. And look, they spend their money and they hire the best people and they come up with cool products. And like in the end, like even with all the best branding and stuff, you still have to show up with a good product. And to do that, you have to invest your time and money, and they have no problem doing that. It's so obvious that they have no problem doing this and that they have real experience. Make sure you stay till the end because typically toward the end, I do my pros and cons list and we go over just like a very blunt, here's what sucks, here's what doesn't, here's what they could work on, all those things. So here's their website. Very well put together, very aesthetic, very organized. It looks good. They obviously spent some money and hired someone who knew what they were doing to put this together because it's very artistic, but it's also very, it's laid out in a very good way. I took a few computer website design classes in college and I did computer science for a year. And I also just know what looks good, and this looks good. Your Boonji now doubles as your membership card, grant access only to many members only benefits, and you have to be part of these projects. They're doing events. You have to own a Boonji to be part of this. Now, this is very common, but this has a lot more meaning when it comes from someone like Brendan in the Boonji Project because it's something that's already exclusive on its own. If whatever project that people don't know about or care about does something like a members only, nobody gives a shit. So it's really important that the projects that do have that benefit for them actually utilize it. And I guarantee you, this membership card will definitely extend into the metaverse. And if it's not, that's something they should be doing. Another thing, just kind of glancing at these photos, which I'm sure they're already working on, but they need to make these things GIFs or GIFs, or whatever you call it. They need to make these things moving. Imagine a background with this psychedelic looking art, moving in the background or breathing. And then maybe the Boonji guy is kind of bobbing from side to side. I've always liked moving art, and I think they're missing an opportunity by not doing that. I'm sure they're already thinking of things like this, but just something I noticed. So we got a little bit of lore here. It's good to have this. I feel like projects who don't utilize all the things and involve lore, marketing, brand, even short-term utility, and combining all of them are missing out. You need to be doing all these things. And so having just a little bit of lore, just to give a little bit of story, it also gives personality to all these things because there's no faces. It's not that personal and personable unless you add a little bit of lore, unless you do certain things. I'm sure in the future you'll have options to adjust this or that with details and make it more personal to you. And if they aren't doing that, I think that's something they should consider because while this is the Boonji Project by Brandon Murphy, he knows as well as every artist knows that only you can truly understand the meaning behind anything. It's different for everybody. And I think giving each Boonji their own little storyline would be super cool. I bet they're probably already doing it. It's just something I wanted to note in there. So we got a bit of a roadmap here. It's very different from most NFT projects because many projects in the 5 to 12,000 collectibles, they have a very copy and pasted, very generic, and doing anything different sets you apart, and they did that. And this is cool to add in little bits of personal branding from Brandon Murphy to have a little saying that he has in here. Here's the crazy part. There's only been 2 projects I've seen where they bothered to do something like this, and that's great, guys. If there are projects doing little things that you wish they were doing and you find the ones that are, those are the ones where you go, damn, bro, I'm trying to be part of that project. Okay, I was right. So they had a Dutch auction at the beginning. So if you were one of the first NFTs sold at the very beginning, you got a sculpture, and every 33rd one after the first 200 also come with a physical sculpture. I don't know if that's still going, but that's pretty lit. So in that interview with Greg, he told me that they literally gave away over $5 million of art. That in itself is fucking unreal. That's not a thing. Tell me another art project that's doing that. So the main way their roadmap is structured is they have these little planets, but each one is a different event in a different place. And you basically have to own the NFT to be part of it. And at these events, they'll be having little raffle things. And if you're actually physically there, I believe you get a better chance at a live raffle. And it's just fun, guys. They're going to be here. The team is going to be here. They want to engage with you. And you can feel it through the way they say this stuff on their website and the way that Greg Norman is just going around and doing interviews and talking to people. In the interview, he literally said, if you guys want to reach out, literally just email me or at me in the Discord and I will respond. And that's very rare. That's very rare in NFT projects. I know you think it isn't, but it is. These events and shit only work because Brandon Murphy and because Boonji, right? If it's just some random shit, these things on this roadmap would mean nothing. And it's the same thing I said with Journey Crypto's NFT. It matters who the founder is, and it matters who's behind the project. And we have the whole team here. We got Brendan Murphy, the artist project founder, Greg Norman, the guy I just interviewed, he's the CEO and co-founder, Nicole McGraw, chief creative officer, co-founder, James Feltman, CFO, co-founder. We have Christopher King, strategic advisor, Adam Sedeka, Boonji Project community manager, Crystal Wood, marketing strategist, and Kevin LeFou, blockchain consultant and co-founder. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they all have experience. And one thing I noticed through my interview with Greg, which is where a lot of this shit's coming from, honestly, and I know some people are going to shit on me because they're going to be like, that's super biased, but this is a real authentic conversation with a business dude who can't just lie and make shit up. I know he's not going to hire fucking idiots and people who aren't capable. These are all capable people. You can find them on LinkedIn, you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook. These are all legit people that have actually had real experience, and experience when a bear market comes will be the difference between the projects who suck and never come back alive after it and the ones that do rise from the ashes. All right, we have their Etherscan for the Boonji project. They have 5,804 holders out of 11,100, and the highest percentage is 3.6%. While this is more than I've actually seen in a lot of projects, 3% is not enough to completely like blow a project out of the water in either direction. So to have a few people above 1% is not really a big deal. There's probably some really, really rich NFT artists, like collector, who already liked Brendan Murphy in real life. And so that's pretty crazy, but no red flags there. I'm just going to go through a couple of people in the team because this video is going to get really, really long, and you guys can literally just click a couple of buttons on their Boonji website and find this out for yourself. One thing I was also told in the interview is Brendan Murphy has literally dedicated his life to this Boonji project and NFTs in general, bringing value to the holders, pushing the brand. And that's a great sign, because if that's not something that's made public and people don't know, they won't know. Like Greg and some people on the team go on Twitter Spaces all the fucking time. They have no problem talking, you know, doing live talks, like talking to Brendan Murphy on live Twitter Spaces and shit like that. And so if you're seeing that project teams are doing this and being transparent, that's a really, really good sign. Here we have Greg Norman Jr., the CEO of Jupiter Group NFT. He's a co-founder also of Boonji Project. The Jupiter Group is kind of like similar to a launch pad for like just prominent NFT people that he thinks are going to do well. He's not looking to take every single project that comes to him. So the Jupiter Group works with the Boonji Project together, and they coexist sort of. And so this guy's been building businesses for 10 years. You guys can listen to the interview with him. He's got a fucking lot of experience, a lot of good stuff about him. And if I was to invest in a project, I would want him in charge. That's something that's really, really important, that it's a big reason I invest in the project. And just taking a look at some of the people on the team, they're very active on Twitter for the most part, a lot of them. And it's good to see them engaging, doing funny gifs, retweeting stuff. It's not that hard. And same with Greg. I mean, he's all over Twitter. He's talking to people, he's DMing people, he's responding, he's resharing. He reshared a couple of my pictures. This is exactly what you want to see from high-level individuals in the business world who actually understand community and branding and are able to pair that with their skills in business. So if you take a look at the Discord, I popped in and was like, hey, like I just bought in, this is super cool to be part of this. A bunch of people came in, were like, this is so awesome, and like we'd love to have you like on board with Boonji. And to get this type of feel, I know you guys are going to think it's very common, but it really isn't, to have people actually be in your community of Discord and care. And something I talk about in my videos is community is not only people liking each other and hanging out and talking. Community is also how much each individual person fucks with the project, or fucks with Brendan Murphy, fucks with Boonji in general. It doesn't have to be that you feel welcome in the community as far as like other people chatting amongst each other. In the same way that I'm a fan of Gary Vee, but I might not be a fan of someone else who likes Gary Vee. I like Gary Vee, and that's all that matters. And to Gary, it's an individual thing, you know? So like when you're branding yourself, each person matters in the project. Each holder matters. But yeah, I honestly just wanted to see if anyone was going to talk to me, and a lot of people responded, and I had a lot of fun, and I feel very welcome in their Discord. And I'm pretty sure this is that college kid that Greg told me about. Dude, look how fucking awesome this is. Like for me, I'm like in between places all the time, so I can't have like a 7-foot sculpture. But at some point, dude, guarantee it, I'll have one of these in my house. This is epic. This is cool. So we have Serena Williams. She owns 6 pieces of Brendan's work in her home. We got Djokovic and Brendan Murphy. I mean, look, why would they hang out with Brendan Murphy if he wasn't dope, a good person, and a cool artist? They wouldn't. When you're rich and famous, you don't hang out with people who don't make you better, you know? And so people who are high level, top of their game at whatever they do, and they find someone who matches their like effort and shit in a different sector, they pair together. That's why a lot of rich people will become friends, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, because they're both top of the game and they can understand each other. That's a very good sign. So forget the fact that famous people buy his art. Remember that famous people want to be around Brendan Murphy, and that's something that's very important to note because most famous people don't want to hang out with people who aren't dope. So here's Brendan Murphy's art page on Instagram, 130K. Doesn't have a ton of engagement, and I'm not sure why. Like, it may have been he bought some followers or he has a bunch of bots or whatever, but he's like pretty active on here. He's posting a lot, so I'm not really sure why he doesn't get much like whatever, but I mean, who knows? So what do I think about this project? What are the pros and cons? Some of the pros are that the team is very experienced, very capable. The artist is very capable. The artist is very good, has a lot of good connections. So this is something really important, is that the team and the artist have a lot of connections. They know a lot of people. There's a lot of people who fuck with this stuff. That's almost priceless to have that in a project. Another pro is that the art itself is dope and people fuck with it. And people want to be part of the project. They focused hard on branding, especially in my interview. I asked them a lot of questions because I wanted to know. I was going to invest in their project and I wanted to invest in their project. I wanted to know the facts. The only cons I could really think of are if his art starts to fall out of favor, or if Brendan Murphy fucks up publicly and says something stupid, some past art comes out maybe that he's not so proud of, and people do a atrocity Jungle Freaks type of thing. But the thing with artist-led projects is that even if he did something really messed up, there will be a amount of people that stick with him no matter what, and those people will be diamond holders. So regardless, since they focus so hard on brand, and Brendan Murphy has spent 20 years building his brand, there's almost too many good signs to ignore, and this project is at its lowest it's ever been as far as floor price, so it's a good time to get in if you were looking to get in. The risk to reward ratio with this project is very much tipped in the Boonji Project's favor. The only thing I'll add is that I wish Brendan Murphy would be a little bit more vocal and do YouTube videos, but that's for everybody, guys. Like, I want everyone to be more vocal on YouTube videos, do lives. I want him to do more. I'm sure he's done a lot, but I want to see his face more and see him talking and doing collabs and seeing it more publicized and talked about. But besides that, they've done an excellent job branding themselves. As you guys know, that's what I look for in projects, especially established projects. They're not really focused on stupid short-term utility like I talked about. They're doing a lot of things right here, guys. So this is one of the projects that I've got my eye on for the bear market. It will be something I'm paying attention to. Another con is if you're looking for a short-term flip, short-term utility, short-term cash grabs, this probably isn't the project for you. This is a very, very art-focused, longevity-focused, and brand-focused project. If that's not what you're looking for, this is absolutely not the project for you. It's not your fit. That's something to note for sure. All right, guys, that's all I got. I know this video probably seemed like I was very, almost too bullish in this project, but to be quite honest, there's only a couple projects doing things right to this level, and there's just not that many negatives to say. There's a reason I wanted to interview the CEO. There's a reason I bought in. There's a lot of good things. Obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen in the short term, but as far as long term, as long as they keep this shit up and just ramp it up, I see good things in their future. Guys, that was a longer video, so I appreciate you making it to this point. If you did make it to this point, code word is going to be thesis-based investing. If I see thesis-based investing, I'll be happy because I know you made it all the way to the end. And while you're down there, man, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're coming out with videos every single day, and I don't plan on stopping. If you want to see more of me right now, click on one of these boxes on the other side of me. And until next time, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful you're alive watching this video.